Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Jason Park. I'm a filmmaker. I've made 5 feature films, and we're currently in production on our 6th film, Speed Faster. But right now, I kind of wanted to walk you guys through what it's like getting your film ready for FilmHUB. FilmHUB is where you go and you self-distribute your film, and you get it on Amazon Prime and Tubi and Freevee and all these other channels where FilmHUB acts as the aggregator and the distributor. Now, mind you, with any indie film, whether you go with the distributor or you go through FilmHUB, you're responsible for marketing your film. So just always remember that. This right here, what you're seeing on screen, is my film Rhino King that I'm about to submit, that I got everything ready for. And it's our 5th film. It's actually coming out before our 4th film, Always Smile. But that's a different story for another day. But let's go ahead and walk through this and break this down. So for the main video, this is where you're going to upload your film. If you're working in DaVinci Resolve and some of you are having errors on too compressed, or it's not passing QC, what you want to do is make sure that you render it in something like a DNHR or a DNHD 10HQX, right? You don't need to do 12-bit. I used to do 12-bit and the file was like a terabyte. 10-bit is perfectly fine, perfectly suitable. And on your audio side, you want to do like 24-bit on the export. So that's what you want to do for your video. And if you have a 70-minute movie or an 80-minute movie or a 90-minute movie, if your movie's 400, 380, 500 gigs, that's normal. That is what you want, because that's a full uncompressed movie that then FilmHUB can go and take and pass it on to these different channels, and they can, rip it in 720, 1080, 4K, whatever they want. So then right here, you got your English captions. There's a few ways you can do this. You can use an external service like rev.com. You can use FilmHUB captions if you just don't want to deal with it at all. What I do in DaVinci Resolve is I use the auto caption generator, and then I go through and then fix, words as I watch the movie. Here's where you can upload additional languages. Back to the subtitles, make sure you save it under SRT. It's SRT formats. Then here, the chapter breaks. The chapter breaks are very important because what you want to do, and I always keep it simple, I do 10-minute increments. But if your movie's gonna go on something like a Tubi, then these are breaks that lets the platform know, like, hey, these are good times to set the commercials. And I just think 10-minute increments are easier. Some of you may go and watch a movie and be like, ooh, this is a perfect break, and then that's gonna determine where your breaks are. I will say I'm not 100% certain on this, but I do think that the more breaks that you have, the more, opportunity for ad revenue. Then on the bottom, you have upload your trailer. This is where you're going to upload your highest quality trailer. Similar to the movie, you want your 1 minute 45-second trailer. It's going to be 7 gigs, 15 gigs. It's going to be a big file because you want to do a high-res uncompressed version. You don't want to do the MP4 version of the trailer or even the movie itself. That's something that you would only do if you're going to go upload it to your YouTube channel, which is what I do with my movies. Once they go live everywhere else, I just put them on YouTube. So then now, when we go to profile, this is where you have the name of the movie. This is where you have the synopsis of the movie, sales pitch, genres, keywords. These are all whatever you want. Original release date. You have to put a date here. This movie's brand new. It's never come out, but you have to put a date here. Country of production, filming location, cast and crew, director, writer, composer, producers, all that good stuff. Make sure when you enter this information, guys, down here in the save progress, you actually save it. So then you go to listings here, and this is where you can have your tags. The official ratings, majority of us will never do because we're not paying the MPAA board to rate our movie. I mean, majority of the movies, even if it's a PG movie, Christmas movie, and there's no violence, language, sex, or anything like that in the movie, we're still not going to have a PG rating, right? Because it's just not official. So don't worry about that. This is where you add your festivals that you got accepted to, your festivals that you won. And it doesn't matter if it's big or small, throw them in here, right? I guess everything helps. Links if you need be, your IMDb URL. I would say set up your IMDb before you go live. That way it has something to go back and forth from, or when they put it on certain platforms, it can go and pull that information from IMDb. Your production company, for me, it's Hyper2 Productions. Copyright line, I just put 2025 Hyper2 Productions. I mean, it's the end of the year, so it just doesn't matter. Artwork, here's where you're gonna get all of your sizes. This is very important for when you're on the platforms and all that stuff. And don't worry when after you upload it, it looks kind of low res and funky. That's just what it is. But you want to make sure that you have your 2x3, which is 1400 by 2100. You have your 3x4, which is 1575 by 2100. You have your 16 by 9, which is 1920 by 1080. Then you have your 4x3, which is 1920 by 1440. Then you have your 16 by 9 textless. So you want to have your picture with no text, no nothing. That's 1920 by 1080 textless. Then you have your 16 by 6. This is more like banner style, where it's 1920 by 720. And then you have your 2 by 1, which is 1920 by 960. These are very important because this is just the face of your movie before people even click the trailer, before people click anything else. So then here you have your avails, ad-supported subscription, TVOD, transactional. So you had AVOD, SVOD, TVOD. And then on the right side, you have your worldwide. You can change this if you just want TVOD or you want SVOD or AVOD. For me, I don't care. I just want it to get out into the world and allow it to bring joy or bring an emotion to people, and they can escape from life for a little bit. Block channels, you only get this opportunity if you're a Pro or Plus member. I just stick to the free version where you don't really have any control of when it comes out, and they take 20%. All that's fine with me. I don't really need specific release dates or anything like that. I'll just market it when it's actually out. I think nowadays with the amount of information, and this is just my opinion, the build up and all that stuff is just unnecessary unless you have a really big film. It just, building the hype doesn't really do anything, because by the time the movie releases, people have already forgot about it. Then here's where you have your documents. This is very interesting because for FilmHUB, you don't really need this stuff, right? I mean, they'll accept it and put it up on platforms. But I think if you want to be on more platforms, maybe even get picked up by bigger platforms, this is just a theory. But I think that the more documents that you have for your project, the more likely it is that you'll get picked up, the project's taken more serious, and it shows that you've covered your ground when you have your, the biggest thing in there is the 5 things I would say in your documents that you'd want to upload is your actor releases, your location releases, if you have E&O insurance, which for indie projects most probably won't, but if you go through a distributor, you typically need E&O insurance. That's just a $2,000 expense or $2,800 expense that why would you spend it if you don't have to, especially on lower scale films. Music cue sheet, so that's where you have kind of like your chapters here, right? A music cue sheet would say, okay, at 10 minutes and thumbnail 10 times, Drake's Energy was playing, right? That's your music cue sheet, and it would just go throughout the entirety of the film. And then maybe something like your cast list. Simple documents, get them out there. I kind of have all the documents, and I pre-make them for every film. And then as we go and I finish the film, I update them. And where I pulled that from was on my second film, for Amigos, which on YouTube you can watch as Fast Atlanta, which we're doing Speed Faster, which is like the sequel, but it's a standalone film. I went with the distributor. So that list of deliverables that I needed to have in order to go with that distributor, I took that same list of deliverables and now I just apply them to all of my films. So it's almost like a template of like, okay, let me make sure that these documents work. So it doesn't matter who I go with, those deliverables are always ready to go with every project. Anyway, guys, I hope this helps you. I hope that, it helps you on your journey as a filmmaker. Let's go ahead and submit this. This is good to go. So we're going to go ahead and submit it. Are you sure you want to submit this title for distribution? Once submitted, editing will be disabled. We're going to submit, and there you go. All right, guys, I'm Jason Park with Hyper2 Productions.